So
have you got the music? Have you got the signature music?
Bum ba ba da bum ba dum.
Yeah, it's lovely. That's
But Graham was right when I first played it. Graham, I remember you saying there's too much strings in it, there's too much sustain. But I like the piano sound in it.
I like it.
In episode 6, Christine talks movingly about being invisible. Dudley tells us how he and his family have had to deal with their lockdown experience. And we look at Glyn's Mad Quiz, which has been an enormously popular cornerstone throughout. As ever, linked by snapshots from our sessions.
Susan's good at making scones.
Anyone put
Can we have question 1, please?
Makes lovely scones, don't you, Susan?
Well, I make scones. I think you call them scones, doesn't it?
Yeah, makes lovely ones. Trust me.
Well, I use a Mary Berry recipe, so
Really nice.
Well, this recipe
interesting to see how different it is.
complicated than the Mary Berry one. Gorgeous.
I don't cook, but I'll have a look and see.
Do you want to talk about any comments you've got about your experience of this period we've been through?
Well, it came as a real shock, really. Everything just, 1 minute you were socialising, going out, seeing people, and then next minute, nothing. And I'm not used to the isolation, not used to being on my own all the time. I know I live on my own. I don't mind being on my own the best part of the time. I do like to see people on a daily basis. And I just felt really, it really made me very depressed, because I've worked for 51 years and I've always had people around me, always, all my life. And to suddenly, for 4 months, nothing, to not see anyone. Just saw people going to the shops. It was really, I can't really tell you, it was just horrible. I'll tell you something, I was just getting really lonely, not seeing people. That was the hardest. I wasn't so much bored or anything, I wasn't bored, it was just loneliness. I just wanted to be with people, to do things with. Now you've got masks on, I don't know, I've got to find that difficult. I like to see people see my face, say hello, look at me. Because I've spent years people not looking at me, feeling invisible, so that's not helping me really. I've always felt invisible all my life, really.
Why is that?
Well, people see you see you doing a job, you've got a nurse, you wear a uniform, and but to me, I just felt invisible. I kept wanting to say, I'm here, look at me. I didn't think people took much notice of you, really. And it's like that outside. I know people who I've been letting on for a long time and they've never let on to me. And I think, am I invisible? I've even said that to them in the past, some people. I said, look, I've been letting on to you for 30 years. You've never once said hello. I stopped them and said, and they said, oh. I said, well, I'm here, I've come to say hello. And you live near me, you're a neighbour. Neighbours. Or people I've worked with for years.
Well, how do you think compared with how you went into lockdown, how do you think your mental state is now? Has it got better, or?
I'm a lot better now. I'm going out. I'm one of those. I can't stay in the house all day. I've got to go out at some point. I've always been like, I feel better when I've been out, even to the shops or just for a walk. I feel a lot better. Staying in. I've chilled more since I've been in lockdown. Because I've not had any worries. I've not had any worries as such, it's just no money worries or financial, it's not that, it's just I'm quite calm that way. I just motivate myself to do things. I need to keep interested and be creative.
What sort of title are you looking for, Bill?
Well, I don't know. But it's something that is the same on every episode. Lockdown or elders screen share. No.
No,
Well,
Can't have elders in there.
doesn't grab me.
Elder sounds much like elderberry wine or something.
Yeah.
We're the planning group.
Planning group.
Video planning group.
Yes.
It's boring that, but yes, it says what it is.
Subcommittee number 23.
Yes.
Question 1. If you were wondering where the yellow went, what would you be doing?
Accident.
That's
Brushing your
Quiz.
teeth.
It's a quiz story, pen and paper.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I don't do quizzes normally.
Right, yeah.
Shall I write it down though? Now I've shouted it out.
Yeah.
I worked in an operating theatre for a year, and just something Christine said reminded me. I was in there when an orthopaedic surgeon was removing a leg, but I hadn't realised it because I'd arrived late. And he said, "Can you hold that foot and pull it?" And I said, "Why?" He said, "It just needs some tension on it." And it came off of my hand.
So where to begin? What's happened and what's changed? I'll start in January this year. Stretching out ahead of us were family trips to Cornwall, a rail trip to France, Spain and Portugal, and a family celebration to mark our 50th wedding anniversary. And initially I thought by May we'd be able to continue, but that was not to be. I had a cousin who introduced Sue and I to each other on a blind date 51 years ago. She was living in a secure home with dementia and psychosis. We visited her regularly, and when the bands came in force, delivered chocolates for her and the staff. We kept busy, going out for walks near our home and beyond, and I was able to contribute to the Songlines project with Oliver Lomax, the Young People and Elders Connect Fest, as well as co-writing 2 short stories with Pat and Charles. I've also learned how to click and collect and order veg from Wally the greengrocer. I've read widely. The 2 books which impressed me most were Anthony Trollope's novel about greed, social climbing and celebrity, The Way We Live Now. It was written over 140 years ago and is still bracingly topical. And another one was Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. It's about a pandemic which kills 90% of the world's population. Pure science fiction, you might say, but what would our lives be like? The main characters in the novel are members of a travelling music and theatre troupe performing the classics and Shakespeare, so there's help for the elders yet. On June the 1st, my cousin died. Your rational self informs you that it was all for the best, and it was, but the emotional connection that established for over 50 years takes you down another route. Nevertheless, funerals and flowers and services have to be arranged, with 11 people in the chapel to say goodbye. Her boxed ashes are on a table in the house, waiting to be scattered in the countryside near to where she grew up. So, what have I learned from all this? Acceptance, for sure. All the plans we had are gone and probably won't come back. Video conferencing is no substitute for real-life contact. Emotions can be amplified by relative isolation. The loss of spontaneity, a chance to do what you want to do when you want to, has gone. So what remains? COVID has acted like a refiner's fire, with apologies to handle, clearing away the dross and leaving for me the essentials of life. My wife, family, friends, the deep companionship formed with the elders and the chorus of others, and everyone else in my life. But I'm still cheesed off for the government.
Glyn, our quizmaster extraordinaire.
It's a Halloween poem, and I've called it Happy Halloween. 'Twas Halloween night, and all through my flat, not a creature was stirring, not even a bat. But then there was tapping at my windows, tapping at my doors, tapping on the ceiling, tapping on my floor. I arose from my bed. I was shaking with fear. Was it the dead that were coming here? I pulled up the blind, and what did I see? Millions of ghoulies staring at me. They smashed through the glass. They demolished the walls. Then out from the darkness came this fiendish applause. Into my room came a creature so vile that if you had seen it, you'd have run a mile. He laughed when he saw me, all crumpled and slack, and I thought that this orange-faced monster was about to attack. Vote for me, he growled as I began to recoil, because if you don't, I'll boil you in oil.
Where are we up to now? Who's in for the next one? Who's just answered? Not answered that last one. It was the
violet team.
All right, so it's the green team. The green team are actually in the lead at the moment. So let's see what they do with this one. Now, Noel Dyson was, when I first watched Coronation Street, one of the only people I knew was Noel Dyson. And she played Ida Barlow, and she'd been in lots of roles, but she was like the Daily Help in this TV comedy series from the mid-1950s. Can you name the series?
Are both names elders' names?
Leslie.
Yes, yes.
I still don't know it. I just know it was Leslie. Leslie and Maureen? Leslie and Mary, Leslie and Judith, Leslie and...
He's not,
You can't get away with that.
he's not a member of the Elders anymore. She had to give up because of her eyesight.
I've never heard that one. No.
Glyn, were you tied to your
At least you didn't
television
give us
in
the
the
answer.
1950s?
You are a big creep.
You got the answer. You got yours backwards.
Let's set this up, I think I better leave.
I'm going to set up a symphony for you all to listen to and then ask you questions about everything else but the symphony.
That sounds good.
I'm going to go because I need to walk something.
See you
See you
tomorrow.
later, Bill.
Glyn, thank you very much.
Glyn.
Bye. Bye.
The easy questions, Glyn. Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
And there's no better way to round this all off than with our poet in residence, who's been documenting our journey all the way along. Here's Graham with another poem.
We talk of trees and weirs and streams, cataracts and country walks, falling leaves, the Irwell, genteel, civilised talk. New places found in lockdown occupy our thoughts. Canals and birds and seasons, well-being, health and sports. The Isle of Madagascar, whence vanilla will soon disappear. Our cakes will lack some flavour, a cause of palpable fear. Which idiot invented sell-by? Prompted investigation. By consensus, the cause of it was fear of litigation. Nigella Botox tops her cakes. with icing, nuts, a cherry. But she cannot hold a candle to sexy Dame Mary Berry. Alexa was next for general scorn. One word produced Swan Lake. Horrible, cried Sandy. New haircut, all a shake. Then we moved on to plastic. Won't take the oven's heat. Vases from Bakelite and vinyl. A 1950s treat. What the hell is streaming? Shouted Gordon to the air. I've only just learned to mute myself. Technology isn't fair. Royalties and Spotify got Bill all hot and restive. Time to savour a cup of tea and a deftly dumped digestive. Then we moved on to fashion. No need for scarves and shawls. Bernard keeps his inner glow by wearing bamboo smalls. Derek's wearing tights today. He says it's not absurd. He wears them just for football. We'll have to take his word. Our 40 minutes suddenly ends. At times we're all in fits. Not really a complete record. I missed out the naughty bits.
Do you know, we're finished. Isn't that brilliant?
We're done.
I thought we'd never get to the end.
No.
No, that's it then, is it? That's it then, is it?
That's it. A great competition. Really good working before.
Wait a minute.
Oh, please.
Oh.
I've got an idea.
Oh.